everyone, my name is Ana Pastor-Oliveras and I'm currently working as postdoc researcher at Aarhus University in Denmark. Along my research, I have been involved in several initiatives about gender and science. In 2014, we started the group of gender and science within the Iberian Society of Limnology, IL. This has been a very active group of women, but also men, working with several initiatives to support equal opportunities for women in the field of limnology. Our focus is to show some of the gender barriers in our field of research and also to visualize the role of women in the limnology. Today, I'll present our latest work about gender-inclusive conference in ecology. Here, we explore the visibility of women during an ecology conference to promote actions towards gender balance in these events. And why is this important? Well, scientific events such as conferences and society meetings promote networking and thus the advancement of scientific discovery. But at the same time, these events also can help the career progression of the researchers in academia. Because of that, it's essential that these events enable and support equal opportunities of attendance and involvement of the participants. We studied the first conference of the new Society of Ecology that bring together marine, terrestrial and freshwater ecologists, the Society of Iberian Ecology, SIBECOL, and the conference took place in Barcelona last year in 2019. We studied the conference from three different perspectives: participation, interaction, and perception of the conference, all with a gender perspective. First, the participation. For the participation, we analyzed the data from the registration and book of abstracts that include 722 participants and 546 contributions. Then, we also analyzed the interaction during the conference. To do that, we assembled a team of 26 volunteers that sneaked into the conference session and observed what was happening. In particular, we analyzed the attendance of the talk and the questions that was asked during the talk with a gender distribution. We analyzed 218 talks, which represent 52% of the total of the conference talks. Finally, we analyzed the personal experience of the attendees by launching a post-conference anonymous survey. The survey was answered by 32% of the attendees, 232 answers, thus providing a good representation of the total conference. What did we find? We found that the women represent 48% of the conference attendees. That was a similar proportion for the women presenter. On regular posters, that was 46%, oral talks, that it was 48%, and the plenaries of the main lecture hall, which was 44%. However, we found that for the invited speakers of each session, there was a major contribution of men, with only 1/3 being women as presenters. Moreover, most of the sessions were organized by a shared group composed by more than 60% men in the team. Moving to the interaction results, the observations during the conference, our analysis showed that for all communication types, there was more public when the speaker was a man. In particular, for the plenary session, there was an average increase of 18% of the attendees when the speaker was a man rather than a woman. We analyzed the questions conducted during this discussion time for each talk, and we observed that women tended to ask less questions than men. we did this analysis comparing the percentage of the women that was in the audience and the percentage of women that asked the questions. If half of the audience were women, we would have expected that women would have asked half of the questions. However, we found that this ratio was in average significantly lower than 1, which indicates that women tend to participate less in the discussion time than men. Interestingly, when we found that the gender of the speaker and the chair influenced the gender ratio of the people asking the questions. Although we did not find differences when the speaker or the chair were women asked significantly less questions when there was a man as a speaker or a chairman. Finally, we move to the results for the personal experience as the results from the anonymous survey. At the question, did you ask the question wherever you wanted? Only 22% of the women respond that they asked what they wanted, compared to 38% of men. Interestingly, when we asked, did you perceive that women asked less questions? Most of the respondents did not have the impression that women asked less questions than men. Only 32% of the survey respondents perceived that men asked more questions than women, and that was significantly lower for men, only 21%, than for women, 39%. The survey also helped us to determine that most of the attendees have a good or very good experience with the conference. However, women significantly report that they hear more frequently than men stereotypical remarks and felt more often the imposter syndrome during the conference, which is related to the feeling of not belonging to the community. These results indicate that women perceive the conference as an environment not that as comfortable as the men did. To summarize, we found that there were less women in chair panels and as invited speakers. Women asked less questions and felt more often the imposter syndrome, and although we showed that this problem, people did not perceive that, and that women asked less questions. And finally, we show that women participation in the discussion during the talks was higher when the speaker and the chair were women. We hope that these results will bring light to some of unconscious bias that women face during the conference, and will also promote the discussion about how to move towards a more gender-inclusive conference in ecology. Thanks for your interest in our work, and if you are curious about the activities of our group of gender science in AIL, we welcome you in our website www.limnetica.net and contact us in our email genderscienceail@gmail.com. Finally, I would like to thank the WISE team for the organization and in particular to invite us to participate here with the Gender and Science group of AIL. Thank you so much. See you.